Hi everyone, Tam's here. I have some free time this weekend and I'm going to try to do a vlog. We'll see what I can capture. But one of the things I am doing for the first time ever is I am going on something called an artist date. I mentioned in a video earlier this week that I am doing the 12-week Artist Way course, and one of the things you're supposed to do every week, in addition to your morning pages, is take yourself on an artist date, and that is just an hour of solitary time doing something that inspires you creatively. So I am trying to keep this very budget friendly because I am on a no spend month for certain things. And what I am planning to do is I am leaving right now, and fortunately our local museum here in Central Florida is free and open to the public, and I am going to go check out the new exhibit. So I'll let you know what happens. Okay, so my little artist date excursion is over. That was a lot of fun. I spent just short of an hour at the Polk Museum of Art here in Polk County, Florida, and I really enjoy, they have an exhibit that's on Rembrandt's Academy, and that was fascinating. And then upstairs they have a very small exhibit that was very interesting as well. A couple of things that stood out. I know we're supposed to be open-minded about these things. I often go on these types of excursions, but I've never done it with the mindset that we have in doing the Artist Way. And a couple of really cool things stood out. In the Rembrandt's Academy exhibit, there was this adorable little girl. She may have been 5 or 6, and she was sitting on one of the benches looking at one of the paintings, and she had a little drawing board and an ink pen, and she was sketching. And that was adorable, because one of the things that I believe Julia Cameron wants us to start thinking about is celebrating our inner child. And that was just, I found that very interesting. This little child was sitting there. She was the only artist in there. Everyone else was just walking around and looking at the paintings, and that was just precious. And then the other thing is I did go into the gift shop. Now, I do not film in museums. Some people do, and I must have missed that memo, but I was always taught that you do not film in art. So sorry, I'm not sharing any of that with you. But I did film a couple of things in the gift shop that really stood out to me. And this is a weird thing. I really haven't shared this with anyone, but all this week since I started the Artist Way, I have been very drawn to needle felting little woodland creature animals. And they had one. So they had a little display of needle felted creatures. And so I got myself a little white rabbit. I will insert the photo in here somewhere so you can take a look at it. But that's a long story. I'll save that for another time. But yeah, I don't know why I have been very drawn to needle felting this past week. I think it's just really cool, and maybe something that I get into later on. We'll see where it takes me. And then there was one particular painting that I really loved, and I did buy a postcard of that, because anytime I go to a museum and if a painting really speaks to me, and I always like to go into the gift shop to see which pieces of art have been turned into like a postcard or some type of gimmicky thing or whatever. And this particular painting had been turned into a postcard, so I got one of those, and I'll insert that as well. Anyway, kind of fun, interesting. So we'll see what happens next week. Bye.